Ladies and gentlemen of the old world, I hope you're all doing well, and welcome to this community showdown. It's going to be the Greenskins led by Opal Blackbear facing off against the Warriors of Chaos, who shall be helmed by Riz Otto here on the Glade of the Ever Queen. And let's go ahead and break down the builds. So for the Warriors of Chaos, going to be a big old vanguard of horsemen, which is very nice for early pressure and getting the objectives. One downside, of course, is if you index too heavily into skirmish units and your opponent has a lot of shields, they can often push you back. So you got to watch out for that. But yes, the skirmish should be pretty good from these guys. Aside from that, in the back, a couple Marauder Bearmen, or it looks like one Marauder Bearman, as well as a Forsaken unit, so some of the backbone infantry for the Warriors of Chaos. The ever-forbidden Hellstrider. Hellstriders are quite good against Greenskins. They trade super well into the light cav. One thing they will be defeated by, of course, is the Orc Boy Biggin, but that unit costs like 250 more, give or take. So it's not even a bad trade for the Hellstriders necessarily. We do also have Archaon the Ever-Chosen with Spirit Legion, Searing Doom, and a Trouser Snake, the Dreadmaw. Pretty good against Greenskins. It's a really difficult to remove terror-causing unit. Just pop it up there, have some fun, and see what happens. Now, looking at the army here of Opal Blackbear, he is going to be rocking a Night Goblin Warboss in the front, and he is using the classic combo Fermented Fungi. Wait, no Tormentor Sword. Interesting. So normally you see the Warboss with the Tormentor Sword and the Fermented Fungi, but he's just going really bare bones to allow his army to go wider. Now, it's a very Goblin-heavy army. He does have a Goblin front line, Goblin Archers, but there are some Orcs mixed in. He's got the Orc Boys in the middle, and some Stone Trolls, as well as a Chad Giant. You know, I don't hate the Giant pick. The Giant pick against Warriors of Chaos, of course the Horsemen are a bit of a threat to it, but in terms of it fighting against like Armored Chaos Trolls and bashing Forsaken, trading well into a lot of the Chaos single entities as well, and Lords like Archaon, I don't hate it. Stone Trolls in the back going to be very nice here because of the massive prevalence of ranged units here for the Warriors of Chaos. Their missile resistance and high armor will come into play, and an Orc Shaman is going to be using Gaze and Work and Fist of Gork as well, with more Trolls coming out of the woods. Yeah, pretty cool wide Greenskin army, just very, very thick, lots of units, a lot of HP on the battlefield between the Goblins and the Orc Boys. Of course, the Goblins are very good at losing that HP quickly. And on this side, we do get the first Trouser Snake emergence. As it does emerge, pops up on top of the Goblins and is going to be submerging back into the ground once again, using its deep burrowing ability, doing some okay shock damage, but mostly just superficial damage here against the Goblins. All these ones actually took a lot. The other ones on the other side, not so much, but that second explosion was very, very good. And in the front, the Orc Shaman, Sweet Pig, going to be charging in. Better be careful not to eat some javelins to the face. Orc Shamans are okay fighters. They have a charge bonus of 70 on their pig, so something to think about. While Archaon the Ever-Chosen going to be making friends with these Goblins here. And certainly a bit of a mismatch. This is how you stop the end times right here, guys. Goblins versus Archaon. But the Green Tide is moving up, and the Trouser Snake in the back does end up re-emerging here. But the Stone Trolls can honestly put some big hurt on it. It does look like the Dreadmaw is being hit with something. I actually looked away for a second. I think it was a Gaze and Work coming in from the Shaman, some sort of spell, and now we do get Squig Hoppers on it. Interesting. I mean, they do have high AP values, and the Dreadmaw is taking a considerable amount of damage here. It's not bad, so yeah, interesting. We'll follow its career with great interest. So Archaon getting a little bit ham here and encountering a Giant, which is not what he wants to be doing. Giants are one of the few things on the Greenskin roster that can actually go fisticuffs with the Archaon and really, really put a ton of hurt down on him. So Fermented Fungi active, and a good capitalized play here from old Opal Blackbear. Able to get the Rampage on Archaon, trap him in combat with the Giant, but he is being hunted by a Chimera as well. Now it is a regular Chimera, so it doesn't have any way of healing, but still a very menacing monster, as the Greenskins do take control over this objective. And we do kind of see that principle I was talking about earlier being illustrated, in that if you go too heavy into the Horsemen and you kind of get screened out by cheap shielded units, you can sometimes really pay the troll toll, right? Because right now Archaon is pretty unsupported. He's got his big monster here, but man, he is getting his butt kicked by this Giant. It is having the Giant's having a field day right there, man. And the other Trouser Snake in the back, I think he was a little bit focused on the other micro, and it does look like this Trouser Snake is going to be getting hammered by the Durkid Squigs and the Stone Trolls, and it's going to be time to send that thing underground. It is doing some okay damage, and honestly, you know, it's a 1,000 gold monster. It's really cheap, so losing it, it's not the end of the world, but this is not where you want it. All right, so back up on the objective, Archaon has disengaged, certainly not wanting to have any of those mushrooms thrown in his face once again. Good screening by Opal Blackbear, using his Goblins to kind of get in front of all these Horsemen. Exactly what you want to be doing. And the Giants is really putting this game on his back, man. He now found the Chimera. Chimera definitely shouldn't be getting trapped here, but Stone Trolls also have very good mass. So pushing away from Trolls and a Giant, you know, it's tricky. And you can see right now the Warriors of Chaos player is trying to escape, but that Giant is really laying into him there. And yeah, the damage, it can't be healed on that bad boy unless he has an Urgle caster in reserve. Good snipe though from Riz Otto. He needed to play because the early game was just going horrifically for him, but Archaon is able to get a snipe on the Orc Shaman with some of his Hellstriders on the wings, so most likely that Orc Shaman is going to be killed and or escorted off the battlefield as the second Chimera is going to be coming out. And is going to want to get some breath attacks maybe to free up its homie. I mean, it could do a really good breath attack right here. Hit these squigs, hit the trolls maybe. And there it is downtown. And does it actually do a lot of damage? A little bit hard to tell with the Searing Doom coming in as well. But the Searing Doom was good. And that actually nailed those squigs, nailed those Goblin Archers, and was not bad at all. Now, the Orc Shaman does get dispatched on the other side. Value trading slightly favors the Greenskins here. As on the backside, we see Forest Goblin Spider Riders coming in. A very cheap unit that does have poison and is very sticky and can lock you down. So they do manage to trap up that Chimera, while the Stone Trolls as well as the Giant continue going after their prey here. And the Chimera is at 2100 HP, most likely going to be routed here in just a moment. Broader Horsemen are kind of having a bad time, honestly. They are basically just throwing javelins into chaff units, not really able to get around and get where they want to be. Ideally, right, you would want the Marauder Horsemen like right over here by these trees, just throwing javelins into the Giant. And, you know, the Stone Trolls aren't an ideal target either, but that Giant would be a very, very good one for sure. Yeah, and honestly, the Greenskin army isn't really presenting a lot of good targets. Using its Orc Spears to screen them out here, the Marauder Horsemen just kind of sitting and wasting ammunition, and now the Goblin Archers are going to be forming ranks. And they'll put some good hurt down to these Horsemen. I mean, look, even if it's just like 1 damage a pop, you know, $20 is $20. That's what we always say here. 1 damage is 1 damage. And those Marauder Horsemen are shaken and are stirred, and now they're going to be charging into the Gobos, which probably won't end well for them, considering there's a big pocket of Greenskin units right next to them over here. All right, so the Chimeras, the dreaded OP Chimeras, being taken to Pound Town by the real Chad monsters of Total War. It's going to be the big Giant, who's now moving in and looking to head back over and help out his little Goblin homie. That's probably one of the few ways the Warriors of Chaos could claw this game back, would be to take down the Goblin war boss right here. Like, getting him off the battlefield, then all these low leadership Goblins would be very prone to running. Archaon's damage still can contribute. Normally, I recommend for Warriors of Chaos players, if you're going to bring Archaon as your primary caster, that's great. But in reserve, it's not that expensive to just bring like a Nurgle caster for like 800 gold in reserve and just have him sitting there just in case. Because when Archaon's low like this, man, he has to be so cautious and can't really be a playmaker, which is what he should be doing. Chimera's attacking in. Looks like it got a breath attack on the Boar Boys. Oh, that attack animation, that is so rough. So the Chimera basically dove forward, and it dove into a Death Star of units. It dove into the middle of the Stone Trolls, into the Giant here. The Giant's going to be rocking currently about 2,000 value. And he's really just marching around the battlefield, putting in work. Oh, man, that's going to be even more brutal. Spotted a Bad Moon active, man. That is a nasty one right there. So Spotted a Bad Moon is active. These Trolls are anti-large now. The Giant is now anti-large. Just a casual, like, 800 weapon strength with bonus versus large. Really brutal. The Searing Dooms have been good from Archaon, but I don't think it's going to save him at this point. As more Squigs are coming in. Squigs do get hard countered by Hellstriders, I would say, depending on the charge. It looks like they're going to both get square charges here. And yeah, the Hellstriders are going to roll those guys over. So a bit of an unfortunate one for the Greenskins, but you know, you can't win them all. Marauder Horsemen are kiting back, being screened out by the shielded Forest Goblin Spider Riders. Another nice use of them in this matchup, as they are shielded. And here comes another wave of Hellstriders, but they're just so many Greenskins on the battlefield. We have the Orc Boys, we have the Goblins, multiple units of Stone Trolls are in good shape. Both of the Chimeras didn't get much value at all, about 500. They're not having a good time. And the little Night Goblin Warboss that could, just trundling about in the shadows, looking to throw mushrooms in people's faces, not probably really knowing why he's even here. Orc Boys and Stone Trolls fighting it out here with some Squig Hoppers, another good Searing Doom right there, but I think that those Stone Trolls will endure unless they get charged from the back, in which their leadership might actually break. But Boar Boy Biggins coming in. Boar Boy Biggins, a very, very good unit in this matchup, and it looks like Archaon, he knows he's got to do it. He's got to go for gold. They're only down by about 1,200, 1,300 value, so it could be worse. I wonder if the Goblin's going to throw mushrooms in his face right now. And it looks like, yes, he is. Archaon got a little bit too close to the Mushroom Master. And the Wog is activated as well. 900 weapon strength just about on this Giant. I don't know if Curse of the Bad Moon is off cooldown, but this is one way to cancel the apocalypse. Just get a big, brutish Giant to, you know, show the Lord of the End Times who is boss. All right, so confident, down to steady. Another attack going to be coming in, down to 1,200 HP right there. And the Haggard Goblin Archers also shooting Archaon to the back, and he's going to be trying to get away. 500 HP, Hellstriders coming in to try and salvage that. And Archaon does manage to get away, but probably not going to be too much of a variable going forward in this battle. On this side, it looks like the Warriors of Chaos making a very desperate effort to try and break through the Greenskin lines, but the Orc Boys shaken, but not completely broken. One of them broken there, but they are holding them at bay, and there is going to be waves of reinforcements coming in with the Orc Boys, and that big, thick Giant is still there to provide a little bit of action. I wonder if the Warriors of Chaos will get a breakthrough here. Let's see. So the Orc Boar Boy Biggins do get broken, but it looks like they do actually get a break. The Fresh Hellstrider able to get it done, but will they be able to get this objective? Find out on today's episode, ladies and gentlemen. On the backside, Hellstriders of Slaanesh going to be creeping up, and are they the anti-large version? They are. A little magic missile from the side there from the Orc Shaman, not bad, but the Hellstriders might be able to get a full surround here on the Orc Shaman and really end his career once again. And the Warriors of Chaos a little bit resurgent here, getting some momentum, maybe threatening to get this objective back. There's not really any capture weight here for the Greenskins that isn't broken. And the Death Star is moving and grooving. So could Riz Auto pull this one back? Archaon is over here fighting a desperate fight versus these Giga Chad Squig Hoppers. It looks like there's dude, this is like the bravest Greenskins I've ever seen. Look at, there's like 4 of them and they're still going. Archaon's at 2 HP. Oh man, Archaon lucky that they broke at that second. That's like that classic meme of the guy like tunneling underground and he almost hits the diamonds, but then he gives up. That was like basically those Squig Hoppers. If only they knew that Archaon was rocking 2 HP and coming in with 12 leadership still. Oh my god, the Goblin Archers, come on, please get it done. That would be so funny. Oh my god, Archaon getting taken down by a Goblin Archer. All right, here comes the cinematic shot. Come on, fire the arrow. Fire it, fire it, fire it. Oh, Archaon with the steel chaired by the Goblin Archers. That's so epic. That was one of the greatest moments we've had in a game in a long time. That's just pure cinematic glory right there, guys. So Warriors of Chaos, though, in the meantime, did wrestle the other 2 objectives back, right? So they're putting the hurt down. Warriors of Chaos do have a better late game than the Greenskins for sure, between having, you know, better leadership and terror and having some really cost-effective mobility. They can, I think, in general, do very well in the late game compared to the Greenskins. But Greenskins, in a way, here with the build he brought, he's got like some dividend stocks coming in. He's got the Stone Trolls, right? Like over the course of a long game, as long as they don't break off the battlefield, Trolls will heal and come back and be able to provide more value. So I guess both of them have some late game tools. As the hordes of the Greenskins continue moving, the Marauder Bearman getting close to breaking. The Giant has, wow, 3,400 value on that Giant. Now heading over there, while Stone Troll's going to be heading over towards this objective. Chimeras coming in, they're cute, but the Chimeras aren't going to be able to wrestle the battlefield back. They're more of like a sniping piece and won't be able to really grab the objectives. And honestly, that Chimera would probably still lose to this Giant, or at least get hammered pretty hard, although the Giant is exhausted, so maybe not. All right, so Troll's moving up, and double Troll action here. Night Goblin Warboss, I think he's out of mushrooms at this point. Yes, he has no more uses. Massive amount of squigs coming in. I think this has got to be the end of the road for the Warriors of Chaos. A great cinematic ending, though. Archaon getting steel chaired by that Goblin with 2 HP was very funny. All right, so the Greenskins move up. That objective's going to be flipping. Objective 2 belongs to the Greenskins as well. Chimera getting in there, fighting the good fight against the Giant, but kind of being taken to Pound Town once again. Dude, this Giant deserves a promotion. He should, if Creative Assembly's watching this Giant needs like to be promoted to a legendary character. A legendary hero of a Giant, because he has just carried this game so hard. Basically, you know, taking down the Chimeras, doing a lot of damage against Archaon, so much work. And we do see some horsemen out on the battlefield. A couple of Hellstriders getting in there. Curse at a Bad Moon or Spite at a Bad Moon activated, giving anti-large. It's just basically desperation plays here from Riz Auto as he does get cleaned up and chased down by the Greenskins. Right now, we do see Opal Black Bear getting a pretty high amount of points, sitting at 1,300, and no inclination of a comeback there. So very well played, super fun game. And yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was going to be a mass Goblin build. I got very excited about that, but you know, still, you got to mix in some Orc units if you're really going to be going competitive. It helps out, right? Having the Orc boys and having the Boar Boy Biggins is pretty massive. But yeah, the Goblin did great, but really the Giant, he took the shot. Although I don't know, the one Goblin, imagine that one Goblin going back to his tribe and being like, dude, I took down the Lord of the End Times with my arrow. Yeah, crazy stuff. But yeah, fun game overall. I think the Marauder Horsemen, Horse Masters, I think, sure, they got their value, but it gave up a lot of agency on the battlefield. And did kind of leave Archaon unsupported. I think like 2 or 3 might be fine, but 4 or 5 actually is way too many. Obviously, huge mistakes with the Trouser Snake. I think that Riz Auto forgot about it, so that was a big deficit. If the Trouser Snake had been with Archaon in some of those fights, it could have been very different. And yeah, I mean, the Chimeras are very good, for sure, but I think they need to get their breath attacks. They need to pick and choose their fights. With this kind of a build that Riz Auto has, you need to get like a Death Star going. Like Trouser Snake, Archaon, and Chimeras like fighting shoulder to shoulder, terror routing the Greenskins. But everything seemed to be kind of isolated and just getting picked off. So I think that was what cost him there. Anyways, guys, GG, well played. We'll see you around, and hopefully you enjoyed this game. Cheers.